Hey guys, it's Mega and
the Bat. Hey.
Here today for the Mega Batman Men Show, episode 1. And this episode today we're talking about TFW 2005, Transformers World 2005's 30 years of Transformers in 30 days. Now, this is going to obviously be heavily sponsored by TFW. Because TFW put this up on their website, they're not holding any trademarks towards it. But I want to stress to you, all of these information and images are coming from Transformers World 2005, and it will be in the description for this article. So, my friend here, the Bat, or Jacob, and of course Mikey Omega, pick your preference. I'm going to be doing this series to inform my friend here, and he's going to do likewise with a Batman segment, which will start next episode. Probably, we're going to try aim for at least 2 episodes a week, if that's alright?
Yeah, 2 episodes.
And yeah, this is perfect for doing this because it's going to go through the entire 30 years of the Transformers history in 30 days. Now, starting off with 1984, article from TFW 2005. We'll take a go at reading a paragraph each from the TFW article, and yeah, I'll go right ahead. So, listen up.
Will do.
Okay, so welcome to TFW 2005's 30 years retrospective. Over the next 30 days, we will be counting down the anniversary of the franchise, as we all know and love, with a year-by-year walk down memory lane, remembering the highs and the lows, the cartoons, the franchises that shaped the franchises and shaped what we know as Transformers today. Let's dive right into this year with the year that started it all, 1984. Of course, 1984 was the year that kicked off Transformers, the year when a little company, which is a mega company today, known as Hasbro, picked up the 2 toy lines, Microman and Diaclone, combined them along with other various toy companies, and basically just put together a bunch of transforming figures and gave them their own names, personalities, and made them into the Transformers that we all know and love today. So, to go a little bit more in depth into this, we have Jacob with the first paragraph.
Hi, this is my first time doing this. So,
star. He's a star already. Just look at his face. Anyway.
So I would hope I don't come off too stupid, but...
Oh, don't worry. I've been doing this for so long. Anyway, continue.
This is my first time, and I was hoping to know a bit more about Transformers.
You're already fucking it up. I'm sorry, we don't swear this time. I'm just kidding.
While 1984 was the debut year of Transformers, the story truly began much earlier in Japan with the toy maker Takara. Takara in 1980 had introduced the Diaclone line. The line at its early stages used science fiction styled vehicles and robots, all of which could transform into alternative forms. The line featured the small pilot figures that controlled these robots to fight against alien invaders. In March 1982, the line introduced a new concept, car robots, which featured realistic vehicles turning into robots. The very first one was a Countach LP 500S, which would become the Autobot Sunstreaker. In 1983, Takara introduced a new theme into one of their lines, Microman, called Microchange. The Micro series was all about how these 3¼ inch figures were 1-to-1 scale with the characters they represented. And the Microchange series sought to extend this by having transforming robots based on items such as mini cassette players, Koro Q toys, and several guns. These lines would remain in Japan initially outside of Takara's attempts at marketing the toys outside the US under the banner of Chronoform and Diaclone.
Okay, so basically, Diaclone is what started it all. Combining Microman, which are the little figures that came with the Diaclone toys. Like you saw at the start of the video, the very first photo was of the Generation 1 Optimus Prime, which, as we can show you, I'm sure I can do this better, but that is just, oh boy, probably not a good photo, but I'll splice in a photo here right now. That is, of course, the original Diaclone series toys, but with Autobot symbols on them, so official really. So a selection of the Diaclone car robots who would later become the mainstays of the 1984 Transformers line. Of course, we've got Trailbreaker, Ratchet, Optimus, Mirage, and Jazz. In 1983, representatives of Hasbro attended the Tokyo Toy Show, looking for prospective new properties to license for the US market. Hasbro representatives reported about these cool robots that turned into everyday objects and real cars. Accounts differ, but it is generally accepted that it was then Hasbro employee Henry Orenstein, the great Henry Orenstein, who introduced the toys to Hasbro CEO Stefan Hasfeld and Vice President of R&D George Dunsey. Hasbro commissioned advertising agency Griffin Buckle to come up with a way to adapt the two lines for the US market, because originally they were just Japanese-only toy lines. Griffin Buckle put forward that the robots should be the main characters of the story rather than the piloted mecha of the Japanese lines. They split the toys into two factions, which they named Autobots and Decepticons, and assigned the faction logos based on the faces of the toys that became known as Prowl and Soundwave. Prowl, of course, being the Autobot face, and Soundwave being the Decepticon. Jay Buckle, son of the company's founder Joe Buckle, is the responsible for giving the toy line its name, the Transformers. So he's a really good man. The deal with Takara Tomy was formalized on November 1st, 1983.
Hasbro and Griffin Buckle approached Marvel Comics to create the backstory and personalities of these characters for the new toy line, and this was utterly crucial because it was the personalities of the Transformers which arguably gave the line its enduring appeal. The initial work at Marvel was carried out by editors Denny O'Neil and Jim Shooter. Denny O'Neil was responsible for naming the leading man of the franchise. He came up with the name Optimus Prime. However, Hasbro would reject a lot of his early work, leading to Jim Shooter to ask Bob Budiansky to carry...
Don't disrespect Budiansky.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
To carry out the revisions of the characters and their bios, all with a week's deadline, over Thanksgiving no less. However, Bob Budiansky did an admirable job in this tight situation and created many of the names and personalities which still endure 30 years on.
They're like in the comics mainly, but toys especially. We've got the cover of the original Marvel Artworks, Transformers 1. Again, will be spliced in at this very moment. Marvel's The Transformers comics debuted on May 8th, 1984. Bob Budiansky served as editor for the initial 4-issued comic series, which related to the story of how the Autobots and Decepticons, like in a war which had lasted for thousands of years, crash-landed on Earth 4 million years ago to awake again in the present day and begin their war. Initially, the comic series was only supposed to go for 4 issues, but then skyrocketed into fame, so they just continued it, and then they made a cartoon series. The series established and fleshed out the origin story, from which all subsequent versions of the Transformers draw their influence. The two factions continuing their war on Earth, the humans caught in the crossfire, the friendship of the Autobot Bumblebee with said humans, and the Decepticons' unquenchable thirst for conquest and power. It all started here. The series has also notably featured guest appearances of Amazing Spider-Man, who teamed up with Gears to fight the Decepticons, and Nick Fury of S.H.I.E.L.D., because initially Marvel owned the comic rights. Now IDW Publishing does. Great publishing. The initial 4-issue miniseries proved unexpectedly popular, so they planned the ending was altered, concluding on a cliffhanger with the Decepticon Shockwave arriving to blast all of the Autobots into submission. Now, Shockwave in the original cartoon was seen as just a normal henchman. In the comics, he was basically the Starscream equivalent, although Starscream was, Starscream taking him in command, I wasn't wanting to take him in Megatron, but Shockwave was better at doing it. At the start of the episode, you heard the original Transformers theme, and yeah, that's just talking about it now. This is the start of it all. So basically what started it was the comic 4-part miniseries.
Okay. On September 17th, 1984, the Transformers arrived on TV screens across the US. The cartoon series was produced by Marvel Productions and Sunbow Productions, with Sunbow Productions being owned by Griffin Buckle. The cartoon kicked off with a 3-episode arc called More Than Meets the Eye.
Oh.
Which like
he's trying.
Yeah, I have a terrible singing voice. which, like the Marvel Comics miniseries, told the origin story and chronicled the Decepticons' quest to gather resources and to build a ship to return the Transformers' home world of Cybertron. With enough energy...
Cybertron, let's get this shit straight, man. We're gonna land the ship, bro.
I'm sorry.
It did not so good.
With enough energy to allow them to conquer the world. The series then spun out from here, chronicling the ongoing battles between the Autobots and Decepticons, as the Decepticons raced to plunder Earth's energy and resources. New characters were introduced into the episodes that followed, including the Dinobots, Skyfire, and the Insecticons. The characters were brought to life by the excellent work of the show's voice cast, which included Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime and Ironhide, Frank Welker as Megatron,
and various other Decepticons.
The late Chris Latta as Starscream.
Oh, got a good voice. Great voice.
And Dan Gilvezan as
Gilvezan as Bumblebee.
I'm sorry. Greg Berger as Grimlock.
Grimlock.
And the late Scatman Brothers Crothers as Jazz.
Scatman Crothers. He was in The Shining.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
The show's first 16 episodes season featured two 3-episode long stories, the aforementioned More Than Meets the Eye and The Ultimate Doom, which saw Megatron moving Cybertron to Earth's atmosphere and enslaving many humans, including the Autobots' friend Sparkplug Witwicky. The season concluded on December 15, 1984.
I just want to put something in there. That was the big inspiration for the third Transformers movie.
Yeah, I can see it with the Cybertron coming.
Yeah.
With the episode Heavy Metal War, which introduced the Constructicons and their powerful combined form, Devastator.
Right. There we are.
I'm so sorry.
That's so good. You'll just have to be killed later. We're going to have to wrap this up quickly. You're
going to need a...
Oh, no, that's fine. We're not going to need it. Edit it. I'll just read the continuing, the last bits.
Okay.
Of course, no retrospective about the Transformers debut year would be complete without talking about the toys. The Transformer toy line debuted to great success, the core of which was simple, two-in-one nature of the toys. Each Transformer as its core was a toy car, plane, or other item which could transform from a robot action figure. The initial 1984 lineup saw 25 releases and 28 characters, including many of the iconic core cast members such as the original Optimus Prime, Megatron, Starscream, Bumblebee, Ratchet, Jazz, and Soundwave. While the toys, by and large, had limited articulation, they also had detailed designs and decos enhanced by stickers, and the large toys had lots of accessories and diecast. Don't forget about diecast. The 1984 Transformers line had a rival in the form of the GoBots, the Gay Bots. Yeah, well, they're not bad. Along with which Tonka had licensed from Bandai's Machine Robot, while the GoBots beat Transformers to the market, arriving months before the Robots market. The Robots in Disguise, the Transformers performed much stronger and retailed and outsold GoBots 2-1, netting Hasbro $1,100 million in sales in their debut year. Shit. 1984 was the year it all began. Iconic characters and two major media incarnations of the story set down the firm foundation upon which has, I don't know about this writing, followed over the last 30 years. Acknowledgements to this article was greatly assisted by the comprehensive timeline on events in the early years of the Transformers, held on TF Wiki, additional fictional details via the articles on the former Electric Escape sites, which were learned of BWTF on Facebook. Okay, so TFW 2005, 30 years of Transformers in 30 days. Stay tuned for next couple of weeks. Obviously, next episode will be 1985, another great year, standout year, and yeah, I'm Mega.
I'm the Bat.
And we will catch you all next time. Perfect timing.
Subscribe for more. Yeah.